As many of you know, before I came to this special legislative body, I served in the local elected office capacity back in Macomb County. In the 1990s, I was a Macomb County Commissioner where I had the pleasure to help lead the effort to create one of the first labor harmony agreements that was seen in this state. And with that labor harmony agreement, we had projects of great construction that occurred in Macomb County. And those projects came in with quality workmanship, no problems with them. We built a 9-story county administration building. To this day is renowned in the state, out of the labor harmony agreement and the prevailing wages that came with it, skilled workers. And when I left the Macomb County Commission and had the pleasure of serving Clinton Township as their elected treasurer for 20 years, I brought with me that same philosophy and brought forward a labor harmony agreement to Clinton Township. That again brought quality construction projects, where we built a 70,000 square foot police station that was under budget. We were able to refund the taxpayers' dollars when that got built. We built fire stations and rebuilt fire stations. And the taxpayers shared with me that they were so pleased with that work, the quality that went in. There weren't cost overruns. But to this day, many of those buildings are just of outstanding quality. So now, we look at what we're looking at here today, and that every one of those prevailing wage projects, those workers, including what I saw get built in my own community, were paid fairly. All high quality work. Repealing this law will only bring substandard work. When I came here, I had the pleasure of getting appointed to the Education Reform Committee. And that was important to me because in Macomb County, and many of you heard me say this before, is we don't have a 4-year public institution. We got a great community college, and we got great community schools, but we don't have that 4-year institution. In fact, Macomb County has the highest level of some higher education of the population without a degree than anywhere else in the state. Speaks volumes to our lacking a 4-year public education. But what we do rely on is our career tech education programs. Our schools take pride in that. CTE has been so emphasized in the Education Reform Committee since I've been in there, and all kinds of discussion and the whole bit. Why we even had the director of the Talent and Economic Committee, our workforce department in our state, come and speak to us. But in that discussion that he gave to the Education Reform Committee, he talked about the lack of talent that we have in the state. And he emphasized the CTE programs that were so needed in all of our school districts. So last year, I had the pleasure of going on a bipartisan trip with some of my committee members where we went off on a bus. It was a great bonding experience. And we traveled to Armada School District in northern Macomb County. We traveled to Fraser School District in my own community. And we traveled to Centerline Schools. And we watched the programs. We listened to the administrators. We listened to the teachers. And mostly importantly, we listened to those students and heard their compelling stories and their excitement about not only what was going on in their schools, but the excitement about what kind of great jobs they would have when they leave the school district and go into those skilled trades. That was so compelling. So now we've got a vote here today that if you vote no on this, you're able to look at those families, those parents, those students, and say, we stood up for you because we know how important your careers are going forward. We know that we will continue this effort of CTE in this state. But for those of you who vote yes, how do you look at the parents? How do you look at the students? How do you look at the administrators? How do you justify voting on a budget when you're going to cripple the future of so many of our youth? It's just not fair. It's just not right for this state to have to experience. We have become at the bottom third in this nation in wages. The disparity between the haves and have-nots in the state is growing larger and larger. And we were once a great state when it came to wages and all of that. We've fallen so far behind. And I think that we can get back to where we were. And we can rise in this so-called rising economy. But we can't rise if you vote yes today on this issue. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, I want to implore, and what I'm mostly concerned about is many legislators in this room have a future in elected office. They will go on to other experiences in their community. They'll go on to other experiences maybe within this Capitol. But to forget about those hardworking families, to forget about those students, to forget about everybody should rise in this economy, and only be thinking of what your future in whatever endeavor you may go on to, whatever leadership you may be striving for.
Representative, I'm going to attempt to provide some latitude if you're speaking to the merits of the initiative, but not in reference to any future goals, or certainly not insinuating that's part of the measure. So please keep your conversation to the merits of the initiative. The chair recognizes Representative Sabo. Sowerby.
I'll answer to Sabo, too.
I apologize.
Thank you. So anyways, just please, I ask my colleagues to think hard about what you're voting on, the reasons why you're voting on it. Think about all those hardworking families and what this is going to mean to the future of this state. Thank you.